In this video, we dive into the violent rise and brutal end of Yang Bara Nyalara, a feared enforcer from Side C in Khayelitsha, known for running extortion rackets targeting shops, businesses, and taxis. Bara and his crew ruled through fear and firepower. Fresh out of jail after a deadly extortion beef that left 12 people laid down, Bara wasted no time in expanding his empire. His sights were set on his hometown of Kofimvaba, where he planned to seize control by any means necessary. With heavily armed bodyguards by his side, he made his presence felt, and it was intimidating, unstoppable, and untouchable. But his reign was cut short. On the 20th of February 2025, a confrontation with the police in the Eastern Cape near Butterworth turned into a deadly shootout. When the gunfire finally ceased, 6 people were laid down, including Bara himself. Now this episode unpacks the power moves he made after his release, his relentless push for dominance, and the violent showdown that sealed his fate. Bara made national headlines when he and his crew executed a brutal retaliation, taking out 12 people after his associate Sikhumbule Nkonki was taken out by rivals while collecting extortion money inside B in Khayelitsha. Now, in the wake of the massacre, Bara and his gang vanished into hiding. The police wasted no time putting up a staggering 100,000 rands reward for any information leading to his arrest. Now, his reign of terror came to an end when a tip-off led authorities to a house in Massacre, where he was found in bed with 2 women. Now, at the time of his arrest, he was caught in possession of dope worth 90,000 rands, and report claimed that Bara is the father of 14 children, though the number of women he fathered them with remains unknown. But what's clear is that he doesn't only bust his guns in the streets, but in the bedroom too, if you know what I mean. Charged with a shocking 31 counts, including 6 murder cases linked to 19 hits scattered across Khayelitsha and beyond, Bara's trial was anything but ordinary. 2 of the 3 key witnesses were taken out before they could testify, and a 3rd woman, who had previously testified against his co-accused Lundi, was executed near the Wynberg court while walking to a taxi rank. The chilling hit, caught on CCTV, went viral. Footage showing the lone shooter calmly approaching her from behind and firing 2 shots in broad daylight. The remaining witness barely escaped 2 assassination attempts, one of which saw shooters disguised as police officers storm his home and fired shots at him, but he survived that one. Now, in August of 2024, Bara and his alleged accomplice, Lled, were acquitted of charges related to the 2021 mass shooting after the prosecution's sole witness was deemed unreliable. Despite walking free, Bara remained in custody for an unrelated robbery case from 2016, where he was accused of robbing a man at a MTN shop in Cape Town, taking his cell phone, 1,000 rands, and a jacket. However, the case crumbled when the witnesses withdrew, citing fear for their lives. Now, the same fear would prove to be his ultimate shield. Now, sources within law enforcement alleges that Bara avoided arrest for years by bribing officers in local police stations and silencing witnesses through ruthless intimidation. Now, in November of 2024, after months of being in jail, Bara was released from custody. When Bara walked free, his supporters welcomed him with open arms. In his neighborhood of Khayelitsha, many believed that his return would help reduce the crime, not because he was a law-abiding citizen, but because criminals feared him. With deep underworld connections, he had the power to recover stolen goods, track down hijacked cars, and force burglars to return what they had taken. His mere presence kept petty criminals in check, making him a feared but a necessary evil. But Bara had no intentions of laying low. He had a plan and he was determined to execute it. Upon his release, he rapidly expanded his extortion empire, shifting his focus towards his hometown of Kofimvaba. His first move was bold. He summoned every taxi driver and bakkie operator in the area to a mandatory meeting at a memorial wall, with his 4 heavily armed bodyguards standing at his side, and he laid out his demands. Every bakkie transporting locals had to pay 2,000 rands every Tuesday. Now the taxi rank itself was taxed 30,000 rands a month. Now those who refused would face consequences. Fear spread like wildfire. Most people in Kofimvaba had never witnessed such open display of power. Bara wasn't just extorting them, he was establishing himself as the new authority in town. Now a leaked police document later revealed an even more shocking development. Bara had been unanimously elected as the regional taxi chairperson, whether through influence, intimidation, or outright coercion. He had secured his grip on the local taxi industry. While the courts had never convicted him, police reports painted a damning picture. Investigators suspected that before moving into the taxi industry, he had built his career as a ruthless hitman. Now his extortion syndicate stretched from Cape Town to Hermanus and deep into the Eastern Cape, cementing his status as a crime lord. To the authorities, he was a dangerous criminal, but to many in his hometown, he was both feared and respected. But one thing was certain, Bara was back and he wasn't going anywhere. In Kofimvaba, Bara belonged to the Border Alliance Taxi Association. Now, as an enforcer and a newly elected chairman, under his reign, his men allegedly ran the ranks with an iron fist, impounding taxis that dared to operate on routes he sought to control. Now, if they found a passenger from Kofimvaba in a taxi that wasn't from the area, the driver or the owner had to pay 1,000 rands fine. Now, Bara had muscled his way to the top, and he didn't care who stood in his way because he knew exactly how to handle those problems. But on the fateful afternoon of the 20th of Feb, his empire came crashing down. At around 1:30 p.m., police received intelligence about 2 vehicles traveling from Kofimvaba, allegedly carrying firearms and heading to or from a taxi meeting. Now officers moved in to intercept them, but what followed was pure chaos. The moment police attempted to stop the vehicles, the suspects refused to surrender and hit the gas. A high-speed chase erupted on the N2, and law enforcement pursued them relentlessly. Then, just as tensions reached its peak, gunfire shattered the air. The firefight was brutal. In the end, 7 suspects were taken out in a hail of shots. Among the weapons recovered were several high-powered hammers, including 4 AKs and 2 pistols.
They tried to stop them once more. The police tried to stop the suspects, whereby the suspects started to shoot at the police. A shootout ensued, and 2 vehicles that were involved also at some stage bumped at the police vehicles, also shooting at the police while shooting at the police. Out of that, there's confirmed 3 occupants in 1 vehicle that have been shot dead, and the other 3 in the second one that has left the road into the water. So currently the diving unit is currently looking at whether we have more bodies or more persons that are in the river. But we can confirm that 6 of the suspects have been shot and killed by the police.
Bara and his 6 heavily armed security guards, believed to be his personal bodyguards, were laid down by the elite National Intervention Unit. For years, Bara had ruled through fear, blood, and bullets. But on that day, the hunter became the hunted, and his reign of terror came to a violent and unforgiving end. Yet for some, he was more than just a feared enforcer. People who knew him in his early years remember a different man, a young, ambitious student who once traveled by train while pursuing a teaching degree, a man with dreams before the streets reshaped him into something else. His death has left his community divided. Some see it as justice served, the inevitable downfall of a man who lived by the gun. Others mourn him as a protector and a necessary evil who kept worse criminals in check and gave back to those around him. But one thing is certain, his death has created a power vacuum, and in the world of crime, power never stays unclaimed for long. Someone will step in to fill in those shoes. Whether the person will look out for the people of Khayelitsha or bring even more chaos, it remains to be seen.